Hello, we are talking about Praga. My name is Lorena.
My name is Luisa Monera.
And my name is Luisa Fernanda.
Praga, since 1992, the historical center of the city is a World Heritage Unit. Its beauty and historical heritage make it one of the 20 most visited cities.
Praga has developed since the 9th century, becoming one of the most important capitals of Europe in the 18th and 19th centuries. But in the 20th century, experienced toward war and especially the Nazi dictatorship. After the war was really the Soviet sphere of influence. After the Velvet Revolution and the fall of the Berlin Wall, the city has been adapting to the market economy.
Praga has traditionally been one of the most important cultural centers of Central Europe. Currently, after the fall of communism, regained its tradition and celebrates hundreds of events like films, festivals, music or literature. The theatrical and operatic active in the city has a huge supply throughout the year. The Black Theatre, Praga National Theatre and National Theatre del Ballet are some of the most famous cultural attractions.
The museum offers rich collections. Among them stands the National Museum of Praga. This was of the major museums of Praga. It occupies a neo-Renaissance building located at the top of Wenceslas Square, the main city. Founded in 1818 as Patriotic Bohemian Museum. In 1848, named after the Czech Museum. From 1854 to 1990, the Royal Museum of Czech.
Jewish Museum, actually a collection of different buildings in the old ghetto of Josepov. It was founded for the preservation of valuable objects of the synagogues of Praga.
Other museums include the less important Museo Alfons Mucha, includes more than 100 works and objects related to Czech authors.
Museo Franz Kafka contains the first edition of his book and personal correspondence and audiovisual.
Toy Museum is located in Prague Castle. Praga is considered one of the most beautiful cities in the world. Most of the tourist attractions of the city are concentrated in the neighborhoods that make up the historical district.
Saint Vitus Cathedral. It is a temple dedicated to Catholic worship. There are also buried of the Holy Bishop and Archbishop and a number of kings.
Golden Lane and Alchemy may have several alchemists in search of the formula for obtaining gold, and whose experiment has been collected in the Powder Tower.
Chapel of the Holy Cross, 18th century. House of the Provost,
17th century.
Former Royal Palace, 17th century, where there were the famous defenestration Praga.
Dalibor Tower, where he was imprisoned, a violinist who gave birth to an opera.
locally palace, 17th century, which now houses a historical museum.
Basilica of St. George, built on a 920-year-old church.
Black Tower, eastern gate of castle. It has been several times in history different hosts, governments, and is the official residence since 1918, President of the Republic.
The other tourist attractions are the Castle Garden, Sound Palace,
Schwarzenberg Palace, Archbishop Palace,
Essenberg Palace, Tuscan Palace,
Sterling Palace, San Juan Nepomuceno Church.
The lesser town, which can be translated to lesser town, is located attached to the castle district, is full of magnificent places, churches, and squares, which flourish in the shelter of the nobility of the empire. The main monument is
Charles Bridge. It is the oldest bridge in Praga, and the Belzaba River runs through all town to the lesser town. The tower located at the head of the old town is considered by many to be one of the most impressive constructions of Gothic architecture in the world. The bridge is decorated by 30 statues on both sides thereof.
Praga Monastery includes the Church of the Assumption of the Virgin and San Roque, and the Philosophical and Theological Library, home to priceless historical books.
Saint Nicholas Church, church completed in 17th century, curvilinear structure and richly decorated interior. It is located in Lesser Town Square.
It also has much tourist depth. Street Nerudova, found in the palace Brettfeld, Thun Hohenstein Palace, the Palace Morzin, the Liechtenstein Palace, District Council, the Palace Nirkirk, Snowborn Palace, Ludwig Palace, the Palace Bergbank, the Church of Our Lady of Victoria, Infant Jesus of Praga, the Church of Our Lady of the Chain, the Church of San Jose, the Wallenstein Palace.
Historical axis of medieval origin brings together some of the oldest buildings in the city, which was erected around the Plaza del Ayuntamiento.
New Town is a extension of the old city dating from the 14th century. Its main attraction are
Old Town Hall. Its most famous is the astronomical clock of 1410, the oldest of its kind in Europe. Each time you take the time out figures that represent the 12 apostles and other figures, the most famous of which is a skeleton. That affirmative movement of the head recalls the immediacy and universality of death. The interior can be visited.
Old New Synagogue is one of the oldest synagogues in